How can you lose weight without movement?
Well, we know that to be healthy long term, we need both types of exercise,
Yeah.
both aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic being cardiovascular exercise, meaning getting your heart rate up, getting blood, oxygen, and nutrients to the tissues, whether it's walking, whether it's rowing, whether it's spinning a bike, whether it's a treadmill.
When you get your menu, they give you the menu, the waiters, here's your menu. You look at that menu. I want you, instead of looking at that as individual single meals that are put together like that and no other, look at that whole totality of those things as a buffet.
Let's talk about a new system. Well, they're bringing it on us, right? They've 90% of all the central banks globally, they're going to come in with messaging like this is the amazing white knight on a shiny horse coming in to save the day, right? Well, no.
Can you really lose weight without doing cardiovascular exercise?
I don't think so. I look at cardiovascular exercise as movement. So I'm thinking, how can you lose weight without movement? So I think redefining that cardio concept is good. And I think really the other side of the coin is like we need to make sure we maintain muscle tissue, because having more muscle tissue allows you to have a higher metabolic rate, at least slightly, and that can help you.
Well, we know that to be healthy long term, we need both types of exercise,
Yeah.
both aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic being cardiovascular exercise, meaning getting your heart rate up, getting blood, oxygen, and nutrients to the tissues, whether it's walking, whether it's rowing, whether it's spinning a bike, whether it's a treadmill, whatever that form of exercise is, that does help metabolism because it's creating blood flow. Now, just as you stated, there's that anaerobic type of exercise which builds muscle. Now, the more muscle you have on your frame, that equals burning more calories. So the balance of both is going to be the best win in the end.
Well, it is, and people tend to equate what you just said to the gym, weight training and a treadmill or a bike. But let's keep in mind that gymnasiums have only been around about 100 years. There's not something that's
true.
Historically old.
So true.
Our genes have changed 2% in 10,000 years.
Say that again?
2%. That's it. 2% in 10,000 years. So you, friend, had the same genes as Noah had, or his wife, when they hopped off the boat. Isn't that crazy? But here's the thing about this, is that we tend to think we have to go to the gym to get those type of activity arranged or done. We don't. We just have to be moving and busy and pick things up and move things around. That's what we need to be about, more activity. And you said it before, sitting is the new smoking. And it doesn't matter what you do. If you're sitting around all day long and the activity goes down and you're sedentary, you won't lose weight. You'll actually gain weight.
Well, now this body is brilliant. So if we take a construction worker, for example, if this individual is doing the same thing every single day ongoing, the body kind of gets used to that. So the fitness level is going to plateau. So in individuals that have manual labor jobs, I will challenge them to just do a little deeper breathing, purse their lips as they're moving. That increases the heart rate. Therefore, they're not having to go to the gym later at night. They can actually use their work as their physical fitness and not have to spend more time when they need to be spending time with their families.
Oh, yeah. Those guys, like a roofer or a construction worker, they're carrying big old heavy loads of pallets or boards all day long. That's a lot of physical labor. I think, though, it's good to point out, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention this, is there's kind of this vibe that goes on in America today with all of our gyms that indicates the false belief that you can just go out there and do cardio and all kinds of exercise to lose weight, when we know that exercise should not be used as a catalyst to lose weight. Exercise should be used as a catalyst to get more fit, more muscularity, that kind of stuff, better functionality with your movement. Really, the diet and how we live our life and how much sleep we get has more to do with weight loss than exercise does.
So you're saying that you can't eat like HE double toothpicks and just cardio away.
What does HE double toothpicks spell?
HE double hockey sticks?
There you go. Are you getting this right? It's important. No, you can't. I mean, we have a saying that we've used many times. You can't supplement away, hormone away, medicate away, exercise away, pray away a bad diet. You can't do it. It's just that bad. And yet we want to look for one thing that does everything, or a pill that, relieves us of our ill, or some kind of exercise plan that causes us to lose weight. But it's really everything, isn't it?
So it's going to be, of course, we have to use border security or border control. We have to pay attention to what's on our plate. We have to eat the right things, fresh and raw fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, good clean protein. The excess calories is what's going to put weight on the frame. So how we improve fitness is, of course, we need to get about 150 minutes of cardiovascular activity in a week. Male, female, that is kind of the minimum from the American Heart Association, American Cardiovascular Association standards. Then in terms of resistance training, that's at least 3 days a week.
3 days a week.
Of training all those major muscle groups so that we can keep muscle on the frame. What people forget is that muscle is agility. It's metabolic tissue. That is the tissue that burns the calories. So as we age, we have a tendency to decrease in our ability to maintain muscle. So we have to work at it a little harder just to make sure nutrition is on point so that we maintain that metabolic fuel that actually is what burns the calories.
Studies show that we lose a half a pound of lean body mass or muscle every year just naturally after the age of 25.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So somebody at 25 might look the same as 80, but they have like half the muscle.
That's right. And so what we have to do, if that's true, and I believe it is, we have to make up for that offset by building a half pound every year. And we can actually, in effect, do that. We can actually build above that to grow muscle tissue. When we lose a half a pound of lean body mass, that also correlates with a 0.5% of your metabolic rate. So now we see the relationship between maintenance of muscle tissue and the ability to maintain less fat tissue. And therein lies a big deal, because we don't want to be about weight. We've talked about that in previous shows, but we want to be about really exercising and moving more, sitting less, because really in today's world, the sedentary lifestyle is crushing us.
Well, and I've always talked about, the loss of muscle is frailty, and frailty is a disease. With the loss of muscle, as we age, that gets us more adult toys, walkers, wheelchairs, crutches, and canes. So we have to mindfully go into our advanced years being intentional about weight optimization, not weight loss, body composition optimization. Let's keep that yellow fat at a minimum and keep that muscle tissue at a maximum.
Move more, sit less, which will equate to stressing less. This, my friends, is the moral of the story.
You don't want to miss
our best tips for eating out.
And when you navigate through these economies with people, here's what happens. We want to hold their hand through it, let them know when it's time to buy, sell, reallocate, get out of Dodge. Because a lot of times when you're struck with fear does two things. Number one, it can paralyze, and people just put their head in the sand and say, I'm just going to forget about it and hopefully it gets better. Or it causes you to make a wrong decision. And this is why we are here, is to help people navigate through the political quagmire nonsense that's going on, the economic malaise, and the absolute collapse that we're seeing. And when our freedoms are eroding, our political freedoms, our economic freedoms, our personal freedoms, our religious freedoms, our health freedoms, they're all tied together. But you know what doesn't need to erode with that? Our finances.
KirkElliottPhD.com/Sherwood.
Hey friends, you already know the answer to this, but we'll ask you anyway. If you stay away from your favorite junk food for a month and then go back to supersizing it, will your health improve?
Well, That's the thing about change. To change, we have to be as consistent as possible.
And when we go back to an old habit, it's not the end of the world. We just get back at the new habit.
Before you know it, real transformation is evident to you and others.
That's why we offer a bunch of helpful bonuses when you subscribe to Kingdom Fuel.
Kingdom Fuel is our complete nutritional meal shake.
It's the simple start to a transformed life, and we'll auto ship every month so you don't run out.
You'll receive 2 free shaker cups, free access to our video courses, and a monthly call with us filled with practical inspiration.
Just see the link below or on your screen and subscribe today.
The body's amazing at recovery, so you want to give it every chance, no matter what time it is. So in that context, no, it's certainly never too late. You're never too old to start trying to be healthy.
No matter where you are in terms of your health, that you can turn this around.
It's never too late to start a wellness program, and it's never too late to reach your healthcare goals. There's an old adage, and I'm not sure where it came from, but I really do like it. And they say the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today.
We just want people to hang on to hope.
We are hope dealers. And if you are not paying attention to the 4 foundational pillars of health, physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual, eventually it is going to catch up.
If we get all those 4 areas right, and we do it right, we see a dynamic occur in the middle called wellness, and that's where people get better. Their health is really going to return as a side effect of wellness.
Tips to eating out.
Oh my gosh, that's a big subject right there. People struggle with that, and we've got a lot of things that can help them. So I think let's take it from the top. Can you sort of have some help eating out? Is it possible to eat healthy?
Yes, well, number one, I just tell people, be the boss. When you go to a restaurant, be the boss. No bread, avoid the extra oils, avoid the extra sugars, and avoid all the extra sugars.
So obviously we're trying to avoid, that would be a rule, right? There's one thing that I like a tip that I like to talk about with people. So when you get your menu, they give you the menu, the waiter says, here's your menu. You look at that menu, I want you, instead of looking at that as individual single meals that are put together like that and no other, look at that whole totality of those things as a buffet. Because in the back of that kitchen, there's a bunch of bins with everything in there. And what they're doing is going scoop, 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 or scoop, scoop, flop, however you want to do that. And they're putting that meal together as it says right there on the menu. So what you can do is you can say, okay, if the entree choice has, for example, grilled fish and it has mashed potatoes and corn, you say, I don't really want mashed potatoes and corn. And you look up the menu and you see grilled vegetables or you see broccoli. You say, may I have grilled vegetables or broccoli in place of the corn and mashed potatoes with this piece of grilled fish? And the waiter's going to say yes. At worst, they might say, well, there's a little upcharge, like $1 or $2 or $3. But in that case, you're actually making a better choice.
Yes. I often will look at the menu online before I go to the restaurant. That gives me the intentionality of what I'm going to order when I get there, so I'm not tempted by anything else on the menu. I've seen all of the choices. I definitely don't go in hungry.
No.
And I've looked at that menu before I get there.
Well, then that's a good one. I think leads it to another tip is not going in like starving and ravenous, because we make worse decisions typically. You can have some water. If you'll just drink some water and fill that
Big
stomach.
old glass of water?
Yeah, fill that stomach up with some water, and you go in there a little bit. You can actually see that you'll eat less if you're sipping on water slightly. I'm talking a lot, but sipping on water slightly between several bites, that's actually a good thing. Another thing that I like to do is like to tell people, when you go with a group, you sometimes have this peer pressure because you don't control what they order, but don't let them control what you order. In other words, don't
be the first to order.
Yeah, well, be the first to order, or don't participate in someone else's misery. I mean, you have people that have this shame game they play. They say, gosh, Michelle, can't you have a little fun? Come on, eat a piece of pie with me. Gosh, what's wrong with you? Well, we don't fall for that anymore, and you shouldn't either. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just choosing to make your own decision about what you put in your mouth, and there's nothing wrong with that. If somebody's trying to force you to eat something, they're probably going to force you to think something. And for a person trying to force you to do anything is all about control. And that's not really a good thing to hang around with anybody like that.
Yeah, that is true. Another good healthy tip is, the dressings. A lot of times they'll toss the lettuce or the spinach or the greens in a whole amount of dressing. Therefore, you don't know the calorie load that you're actually going to get. So you could have them put the dressing on the side.
That's easy. And you could do the old Weight Watchers trick, dip your fork in the dressing and then put it in the salad or whatever. A lot of times we tell people to do this, if you're uncertain about a dressing, you can always use the vinegar and oil, but make sure that the oil is like olive oil, because sometimes it can be other kind of oils like a canola oil or something, which is not any good. So you can actually get that on the side and actually increase some of those good healthy fats there, potentially with that.
Another good tip is don't drink your calories. If you're drinking any kind of fruit juice, or you're putting sugar in your tea, or you're drinking sweet tea, that's just fast absorbed sugar. So skip the drinks that are calories, have water, and eat the calories instead. Like eat a piece of fruit instead of having fruit juice.
The stomach is the size of a fist, not the size of a beach ball. Right? So everybody go like this right now. This is the size of your heart. Now remove one fist, boom, that's the size of your stomach. So what does that mean? If you want to eat less at the restaurant, and even eat better, start with a salad. And that means you're going to chew your food, because you can't just inhale a salad, you have to chew it. So that will slow down the time in which you eat, and you'll fill that fistful size up with some of this fibrous food, and it will sit there, and you'll eat less on your main meal. So I tell people, start off with some roughage like that every single time. Get yourself a salad and start with this sort of pre-meal, and that will help you not eat as much in the main meal.
I like that. The stomach doesn't have any teeth, so chew your food until you chew your food into soup. And you'll oftentimes discover some really cool new types of flavors that you wouldn't have understood as you're inhaling that food. So chew your food. Your stomach doesn't have any teeth. Digestion starts in the mouth. So as we really chew and masticate that food, it's easier on the stomach and better on the digestive processes.
A little, we do this a lot too. Sometimes we'll order a soup sometime beforehand. And I know it kind of goes somewhat, it might seem a little contraindicatory with that idea. You said don't drink your calories, but soup has some nutrients in it, and it also takes up space. So it's actually some kind of nutrients that take up that space in that belly, so you do eat less during the meal. So you can start off with a good hearty soup, like a good hearty vegetable and beef soup. We've done that many times, and that's been great. Or some sort of a vegetable soup as a general, like a broth soup. Those are good as well.
The other thing we do is we always share a meal. We look at the portion size, and if it's late at night, it's often a portion for two. So we'll share that portion, and if we're going to each have a portion, we'll plan to take half home.
There was a lot of tips that we talked about here, and folks, here's the thing with these. Take all these tips. I really encourage you in this segment here to go back and write them all down. Just make yourself a list and start employing those, because that will help you navigate the waters of a menu at a restaurant, even navigate the waters in front of your peers and friends out there. So we can actually make a restaurant visit healthy. Up next, our financial guru, Kirk Elliott, gives us advice on what you need to know at this time in history.
Let's get real. Most emergency food is just as bad for you as any other choice in the standard American diet. And that's just sad.
We don't just need food. We need highly nutritional food.
We don't just want to survive food shortages. We are meant to thrive in adversity.
Complete your daily nutrition and have shelf-stable Kingdom Fuel as a cornerstone of your food supply.
Don't sacrifice your health. or your taste buds.
Stock up on Kingdom Fuel now.
Hello, I'm Kevin Sorbo. Now, there's an old saying, it's not what you know, but who you know that matters. Now, that's true in our careers, spiritual life, and when it comes to our health and overall well-being. Today, most of us know a lot of information about health and nutrition, but are we really doing anything with it? So here's what I've learned from working with Doctors Michelle and Mark Sherwood. They're the founders of the Functional Medical Institute. You need a wellness plan that's customized based on your unique needs. Now remember, real change can only happen when you address the whole person. That is exactly what Mark and Michelle do, and why they are people you should know. They'll help you discover what you need to experience transformation. Find out at sherwood.tv/Sorbo. That's sherwood.tv/Sorbo, or just see the link below. Have a great day and God bless.
I could use your assistance.
Okay,
Jesus. Huh? My name is Jesus.
Sure. Jesus.
Jesus is here today.
You looking for a job?
Yes, sir.
You and Mark have 45 days before the bank forecloses.
Not to worry. They do not call me by God Byron for nothing. The collection plate starts to be passed around. Mark reaches into the basket and shouts, "You and your family are the winner from the first church of the lotto." Kind of think of it like a high-stakes bingo night every Sunday.
Poopy diaper!
Poopy diaper!
This video of the diaper is going viral right before our eyes.
This is a miracle.
What is?
Friends of Faith has over 300,000 followers.
Oh my dad! That's more followers than Moses had.
Jesus! Take the wheel!
Say it.
No,
Stop
take
it.
the wheel!
I got it, buddy.
Hey, Mark, it's great to be with you again. And we've all been talking about the globalists and their plans for a big global reset and what that means for a long time now. Well, starting on January 16th, for 1 week, they were all meeting the G7, the G20, the IMF, the World Economic Forum. All the big globalist policy leaders globally were meeting in Davos, Switzerland, like they do every single year. They had this confab, right? So what were they talking about, right? Well, before they even met, their notes came out, the outline. This is what we're going to talk about to all you people that are here, right? All the globalists, and we've got Republicans and Democrats and politicians there. They're all meeting. And what are they talking about? What did they talk about, right? So according to the World Economic Forum website, these are the topics. And again, like I've said before, words have meaning, right? So let's listen to these words. They're bullet points. They're going to address the current energy and food crisis in the context of a new system for energy, climate, and nature. They're going to address the current high inflation, low growth, high debt economy in the context of a new system for investment, trade, and infrastructure. Address the current industry headwinds in the context of a new system for harnessing frontier technologies for private sector innovation and resilience. They're going to address the current social vulnerabilities in the context of a new system for work, skills, and care. And they're going to address the current geopolitical risk in the context of a new system for dialogue and cooperation in a multipolar world. It's like, what's all this talk about a new system? Well, they're bringing it on us, right? 90% of all the central banks globally are now starting to issue going down the path of a central bank digital currency. Now, they're going to come in with messaging like this is the amazing white knight on a shiny horse coming in to save the day, right? Well, no, this is not what it's about. All that a central bank digital currency is cryptocurrency. It's a digital version of the paper money that they already print. However, so they can print just as many dollars as they want, right? Or as many yen or as many euro as they want. They can issue as many digital version of that currency as well, because there's no tangible backing behind it. So it's going to do nothing to address the inflationary pressures. But here's the deal, Mark. for, the old saying, never let a good crisis go to waste. Okay. Nobody would want a system where your digital social profile, what you spend money on, what your religion is, who you donate to, what church you give to, what political party you give to, how you spend your money, have you been vaxxed or not vaxxed, right? All of this is part of our digital social profile. And if they don't like it, because it's programmable money, they have the authority to shut off your ability to buy or sell. This is what a digital social profile attached to a central bank digital currency does. So when they're talking about a new system, this is the system they're talking about. How do I know that it's not some other system? Because further on in their notes, they talk about how this is going to be a new normal, how they have to talk about a global coalition for digital safety, because there's big efforts that we need to tackle here. They need to talk about applying human rights to the digital world. Why? Because they know that their system is going to strip away our privacy, our freedom, and our rights. And so they need to talk about how are we going to tackle this when we're going to have a ton of opposition from stripping people of their freedom and their privacy completely. So this is what's going on politically. And all of our investments, Mark, are a combination of some puzzle pieces. The political puzzle piece, the economic puzzle piece, the social puzzle piece, right? They all get put together. And this is what I do and what we do at our firm is put those puzzle pieces together and strategically put together a system to get out of the path of this hurricane and safely reallocate to get out of the system where you're not just a digital number, where your programmable money can shut you off from buying or selling, right? So how do you do that? With tangible assets like gold and silver that not only have we talked about in the past how they're great investments, I mean, they're booming, but they're also in this respect, also instrumental in protecting your religious freedom, your personal freedom, your political freedom, your economic freedom, your health freedom, because it's private. They're private transactions. So call our office. Mark, you and I talk a lot about this, and every one of the viewers should give us a call because we can strategically map out. It's a free consultation, your strategy for success so you can thrive. And all you have to do is go to kirkelliottphd.com/Sherwood, or you can just give our office a call, 720-605-3900, and say Dr. Mark sent you.